Baby Keem is easily one of my favorite artists right now, and one of the biggest factors that plays into that is his diversity in beat selection. Although there's a general theme and energy to most of his production, the variation between each song keeps his listeners hooked. When making a beat for Baby Keem, there's generally two directions that you can take it. Either high energy and up-tempo with hard-hitting trappy drums, or slow and chill with drum breaks and other R&B elements. Today, we're going to dive into that hard-hitting and energetic style. Let's get into it. My boy Ascendo dropped this fire sample in my Discord server, and I had to use it for this beat. This is what the sample sounds like by itself. A lot of the elements in this loop are spot on to Baby Keem's style. It's very ambient, it's got some vocals in the background, and it just feels like something Baby Keem would use. Before I started making the actual drums, I started with these perks. This perk just adds a lot of rhythm, and it was a great foundation to start the drums with. After I laid the perk down, I made a really simple two-step hi-hat pattern with a kind of reverby hi-hat. You can already start to hear this crazy rhythm developing in the drums. Once those were down, I made a kick and clap pattern that sounds like this. You'll notice I took out the second clap in each 4-bar segment. There's no real rhyme or reason to this, it just makes it a little bit more interesting. Next, I made this crazy 808 pattern. This is probably my favorite part of the whole beat. It sounds a little weird at first, but once you add the kick and the other elements in, it goes crazy. To finish up the chorus, I just added a couple more perks that sound like this. Altogether, this is what the chorus sounds like. Now that we got all the main elements out of the way for the beat, it's time to make a verse. As far as the drums go, I didn't really change too much when it came to the verse. I just pitched the hi-hats down and made a new snare. Now the interesting part about the verse isn't actually the drums, but how I flipped the sample. I automated effect rack so it would turn on just for the verse, and I used this preset. This preset is actually from the 44th Floor's effect rack preset that he has on the producer crate. I'll link it below in the description. Altogether, this is what the first part of the verse sounds like. I also made this transition from the first part of the verse to go into the second part. Once we get into the second part of the verse, I just added one more thing to the melody, and that was tremolator. And with that, it sounds like this. I made sure to cut the melody off right at the last part of each 4-bar segment. This is going to give it a really unique bounce. The only thing I changed on the drums for this part is the 808. I just made another pattern with the same 808. They sound like this. I also cut off the drums where I cut the melody off, and it sounds like this when you put it all together. Now the beat's basically done, but we need one more really important part, and that's the intro. If you've seen my other videos, you know how important intros are to me. They're the thing that's gonna hook your listener into the beat, so you wanna make sure that you do something that stands out. The first thing that I added into the intro was this drum break from my new Sounds of Toronto drum kit. After that, I made a hi-hat pattern that would lead into the beat. The last thing that I did for the intro was automate EQ and reverb. For the reverb, I just used Valhalla Room. I turned the depth and mix all the way up, turned the pre-delay all the way down, and then I turned the decay to about 1.1 to 1.2. Everything else on it is just at its default settings, and all I did for that automation was change the mix level. For the EQ, I actually used two different automations. I used one on this band and one on this band, and this is what it sounds like all together. That's crazy. This is one of my favorite beats in a long time. And the very last thing I wanted for this beat was an interesting outro. I kept it fairly simple. All I did was add the drum break back in, turned Valhalla Room all the way up on the mix, and then took out the 808, and this is what it sounds like. So that's all for this beat. If you guys want me to do a video in the future of the other type of Baby Keem beat where it's like slow, chill, uses more drum breaks, that kind of thing, definitely leave a comment and let me know. I really hope that you learned something today. If you did, leave a like, leave a sub, and make sure to turn your notification bell on so you can see every time I post. I'll make sure to post all the kits that I use in the description. Anyways, here's the full beat.